Hello everyone, Jason Sherman here. In today's episode of Zero to CEO, I have with me Michael Trezza. He's a tech founder and CEO of Giant Leaps Learning. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
No problem. And today our topic is how to prepare your kids to succeed in the future, which is probably a hot topic considering the pandemic really threw a wrench in online learning and no more school learning. And so I guess this was a good time for you to kind of kick things off. Is that what triggered your company, was kind of the disconnect between in-school learning, online learning, and technology?
I want to say yes, but it actually wasn't. It was just really fortunate timing, and it partly responsible for it. I had a software development company. I still do, for a very long time, and COVID impacted that badly, and it freed up some space for me to start building this company in earnest. In a way, I'd been wanting to build this company for a long time, and started to take steps on it, and COVID really kind of forced me into that. And it just happened to be fortunate timing.
Yeah, and it's funny. I did it. My episode that I released today was why it's never too late. 3 reasons why it's not too late to give up on your idea, or why you shouldn't give up on your idea. One of the reasons was timing. A lot of entrepreneurs out there, they seem to have bad timing when they release a platform or a product. It was just the wrong time.
Yeah.
So you got really lucky with it. Sounds like it sounds like the right time. I mean, technology is changing the world we live in, right? It's obviously the past 50 years, especially, have been more technological than the past 2,000 years.
Easily. Yeah.
And why hasn't the school system caught up to this technology trend? I'm confused.
Yeah, it's a slow-moving train. It's really it takes a long time to turn the ship around, and I don't know that priorities are completely in line with keeping up 100% with where the world is going. It's hard to test for certain things it's hard to test for certain skills that are going to be required of kids in the future. There's a lot of reasons why it's not kept up.
What kind of skills? You mentioned you're saying these skills that, what are the skills that they're going to need in the future? What do you think?
I think the skill of being able to learn quickly and adapt to changes is going to be incredibly important. The world the rate of change is increasing, right? I mean, when you think about the first smartphone, the first real smartphone was 2007, right? That wasn't that long ago. And we're at full VR and the metaverse now, and the rate of change is increasing very, very quickly. So this idea of being able to adapt to that and understand the opportunities that are being presented to you, I think that's going to be a massive skill, to be able to adapt and change and learn quickly. Critical thinking skills, things like that. These soft skills that aren't really taught in schools, that are hard to test.
I read a lot about the things you're talking about, and you're saying how there's a lot of things that are going to be happening in the future, and we don't even know what to expect. I mean, we're doing space exploration. There's a lot of rocket ships right now. We're doing a lot of green technologies to stop climate change.
Sure.
And so are kids going to have to start adapting to different types of jobs that aren't currently even available today? Is that kind of part of it?
I would say 100%. Yeah,
okay. So
absolutely.
So we should be preparing. So how would new parents, say I get married tomorrow and I have a kid tomorrow, what do I do to prepare my child for the next 60 years of technology evolution?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think some of the things that we can do are lean into the kids' creativity. So we're removing creativity from schools, and we've kind of replaced it, not really replaced it, but it's test taking and memorization has kind of taken over for that sort of thing. I think what we can do to prepare kids to be successful in the future is to have them understand their strengths and interests, to have them truly be creative, to have them be innovative thinkers. We need innovative thinkers. We don't need better test takers in the future. Everything from AI to robotics to technology is going to take the place of a lot of the rote mechanical work that people are going to do. I mean, here's an example. I don't know that it's a great idea to teach or to put a kid on the path to be an accountant today. right? I mean, that's a job.
AI, I mean, AI can easily parse through data, whether it's legal documents,
That's what I mean.
number
Yeah.
crunching. I mean, analytics. Like, why do you need to sit
Yeah.
there and we should be doing more creative stuff. I agree.
You know what I mean? So the certainty of the future is lessened, and it's different than the way it used to be 30 years ago, right? That's a great career, and that's a career with longevity. I don't know but that starting out on a career path of being an accountant today is going to have 30-year legs in the way that it did before, right? So what do we have to do? We've got to give kids skills that are going to be adaptable, more meta skills, learning how to learn quickly, learning how to adapt, learning how to think critically, learning how to discern between good and bad information, how to find information online.
So like if you were explaining to a parent, right? Because I mean, I'm really interested. I'm interested in this stuff. My parents are both retired school teachers. I have a lot of friends who are teachers. And my parents taught my brother and I through flashcards, languages, music, art. They taught us non-contemporary things that you don't learn in school.
Yeah.
So what would a school have to do? We talked about parents. Let's talk about schools. What would give me 3 top things a school has to do, a principal or a school district, to shift the mindset from testing and homework and like all the stuff you mentioned to now creativity and learning and more like kind of mind shaping? Like what are the things they can actionably do?
They can do things that they generally don't do now. Things like consequential thinking and blue sky topics. So let's say you were to present a kid with this idea. So this is an idea that I had when my daughter was born. She's 5 now. That I don't think she's ever going to have to drive a car to get somewhere. So what if you had a conversation with a high school kid, and said, imagine a world where all cars, planes, and vehicles are autonomous. Just imagine that world. Now let's think about what sort of challenges that world that creates. What are the challenges in that world? What are the opportunities in that world? And let's start thinking consequentially about that and get a kid engaged in things. And inside that, they may find things that they're interested in, and they'll certainly find things that they're not interested in exploring. And we use that sort of engagement to teach kids about this kind of vision of the world and have them see themselves in this world.
That sounds like a whole completely different way of thinking. Like, because I was just visualizing what you're saying about waking up tomorrow and I go outside and everything is zoom, 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 it's all automated, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing I think to myself is, if I was like a caveman coming into this, I would think like, where are all the people?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to navigate. Like, how do you know how to, like, how would I know where to go? Like, how would I know what's over there and what's over there? Because I've never driven there.
Sure.
So is that part of, like, you're saying seizing opportunities is like finding those gaps in their new reality on, like,
yes, very much so.
Maybe it's like tour guides or something, like, here's how you get to this place and here's
exactly. Very much so. You see, like, let's presuppose that this world is going to look like this. Where are the things what are people not thinking about in that world?
Wow.
Well, so that's how we teach problem solving and creativity, and that's how kids learn to gravitate towards the things that they're naturally interested in, using this sort of like engaging conversation.
That's so cool. I mean,
it's hard to teach. Yeah.
And creativity, we're talking about like all the things that the government does not fund.
Right.
Music, art. So let's talk about that for a second. So what do you recommend here, man? Like, in terms of music and arts education, what should schools and parents do?
Oh man, I mean, what should schools?
That's a loaded question.
That's a loaded question. Yeah, what should schools do? I don't know. That's a big bureaucratic question, but I think kids should learn to play music or have an appreciation for music. I went to school for fine art and painting. I'm a musician and an artist. I play guitar every day. I think it's so important for the brain development to do something creative like that. It translates to every other aspect of your life. Creativity isn't a box. It's not like, playing with crayons over here and then in other aspects of your life you're not creative. Being creative in one area opens up windows to creativity everywhere else. I think that's so important.
So true.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's being deprioritized because it's seen as I guess a nice to have,
or like an elective or like a luxury.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to a necessity. I agree with you. I think, and music also opens up chemicals in your brain, and it's a very healing, avenue of pursuit. And I think that
absolutely.
I just feel bad that it's getting left behind, and who knows what we're going to see in the future. Like you mentioned, we might not see a lot. It might be like robots playing music and not people anymore.
Right.
It's kind of scary, actually. So
yeah, it is.
So what do you tell parents in terms of future proofing, right? Because that's a good word that I saw you mentioned, and I like that.
Yeah.
Because if I was a parent, and my brother's got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, what's he going to do to protect his children for the future? How is he going to prepare them? What are the things he should be doing?
He should be, and as a parent, he should be aware or kind of learning about where the world is going. And that's something.
And how do you do that? What because reading some articles is one thing, but how do you really know? You and I, we know the green technology is coming out, solar panel. We're talking about space exploration. We're talking about different types of cleaning the ocean and whatnot. But like for the regular person who really isn't involved in reading this stuff, what are their options?
That's a great question. I suppose the best answer that I can give you is be conscious of where you're getting your information from. That's one of the things that we teach in our program, or that we help kids learn, is discerning between good and bad information. Watch more documentaries and less garbage TV. I'm just going to put that out there. There's information sources that are better than others, that are less biased, and let's leave politics completely off the table. I just mean factual information, and look at the current events and have meaningful discussions with your friends and family about what's happening, and try to learn from lots of different sources and be open to new ideas.
I love documentaries. I watch so many of them. I actually produced 2 documentaries myself. Yeah. So like documentaries are just a wealth of knowledge. And is that something that maybe somebody should make a documentary about this? It sounds like, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any that you know of that you can mention to parents here?
About education, Waiting for Superman is a fantastic one. It really opened my eyes on what's happening in the educational system, and where the deficiencies and the gaps, and maybe some of the reasons for why this stuff isn't in school.
And it's bureaucratic, like you mentioned, so it's tough to navigate through the red tape, I guess. Is that why STEM schools and private schools are doing so well nowadays? I noticed a lot of STEM schools and charter schools popping up around me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is that a better option for parents?
I don't want to say better or worse. Every parent has to make their own decisions that's right for their family, sort of thing, and aligns with their ideals and economy and all sorts of different things. But generally speaking, you want to introduce your kids to creative pursuits, and a system, an educational system that includes that, and not only includes it, but understands the fundamental importance of it, I believe is going to be a better one.
That's super powerful. A lot of the stuff I research, I'm a techie. I love I'm a futurist. And one of the things I realize is AI, when it becomes super powerful, I mean, like way more powerful than all of history.
Yeah.
They will be able to take over a lot of what you mentioned, a lot of the menial tasks and data tasks, which will allow us to be more creative.
Right.
Are there going to be enough places for humans to thrive? Yeah. Is there going to, do you think there's going to be enough for people to do? I mean, they might be bored, right?
I don't know that it's too late. I don't think it's too late. I have a lot of optimism about these young generations. I really do. But I think that's the worry, is we're taking all of the creativity out of school, and we're freeing up time for people to be creative. That leaves you at a sort of, there's a conundrum there, right? Which
is where you come in. And so where can people find out how to maybe use your program or engage in the things that you teach?
Yeah, giantleapslearning.com. Giantleapslearning.com.
Are there any books or learning courses, like guides or anything that you guys give out or anything like that?
We do, yeah. If you go to the website and you can sign up for some information on there, we've got a ton of information on what we think are some of the ways to help kids, get a leg up on the future.
Perfect. Get your kids creative. Go to giantleapslearning.com. Thanks again, Michael. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason.
And as always, we will see you guys in next week's episode.